Hey folks, welcome back to Threes In. Bobo here. So as I alluded to earlier, I'm going to talk a little bit about, I call it Quad Alpha. Aviators, aviation, AvMed, and alcoholism. Especially as it pertains to my life. I can't really separate alcohol from my life, as it up until 1994, it was a very prevalent part of my life. A deep obsession, if you will. That being said, I literally stumbled into recovery. I wasn't wife ordered, I wasn't work ordered, I wasn't court ordered. Up until the time I came in, I dealt with a lot of anger, if you will. And not being ordered into a program of recovery pissed me off because I wasn't hiding it from anybody. But anyway, to go back to 1994 for a moment, I was given a ride to another pilot up to Wisconsin one morning. And he was in first class, just kind of sitting there before everybody else got on board. And I walked up to him and I said, going home? And he says, yeah. I said, getting off a trip? Or he said, no. He said, I had to come down for a meeting. I said, what kind of meeting was that? And he said, well, he says, I'll share this with you. He says, a while back, I self-identified and went into a program for recovery from alcoholism. And he said, every month I have to come down to Detroit and talk to the chief pilot. A bunch of us do, and so forth. And I looked at this guy. And he says, yeah, he said, I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired with my drinking. Man, I could relate to him. Went up in the cockpit, sat down, just couldn't get that thought off my mind. And I remember having two emotions that went through my mind at that time. First of all, I admired the hell out of him. And second of all, I cowered because I wish I had the fortitude to do that myself. So I just kind of let that slide for a couple months. And then in July 94, I got his phone number and I called him and talked to him for a little bit I reached out to him. And he said, Bob, he said, this company, Northwest Airlines, he said, they saved my life. And he said, they have a program that they support you. And he told me a little bit about it. And he gave me the number of the union rep. If I wanted to reach out to him, I could. That's one of the first times I heard where recovery is not a program of recruitment, it's a program of attraction. And my life was a train wreck at that time. Well, on the outside, I looked like the go-to-hell pilot in a go-to-hell hat. Never a care in the world. And on the inside, I was just dying. At any rate, I called up to the company and talked to this union rep for about 45 minutes. And I said, well, listen, I said, after talking with you, I said, I think I might be an alcoholic. I gave myself 2 outs. I think. It wasn't, I'm convinced I am, and I might be, just in case I was wrong. So he said, would you mind if I had the chief pilot call you? And I said, no, not at all. I mean, why not? So he said, okay, and he hung up, and about 30 minutes later, Dick Edwards called, and he said, first of all, Bob, I want to tell you, I want to thank you for self-identifying. He said, we're going to take care of you, and we're going to help you get well. And I'll tell you, that man held his word. They did take care of us. When I say us, my family. And he said, we have a bed up at Hazleton for you. Can you make it tomorrow? And I said, well, you bet I can. It's time to fish or cut bait. So I said, you bet I can. So he gave me a plane number and a flight number to be on and the details, and that was it. And he said, don't worry about a thing. And as it turned out, I didn't have to. They took very good care of me when I self-identified. So that's the way it started on July 28th, 1994. And it was probably the best thing I've ever done in my life. when I look back on it. Has it been easy? Oh, hell no, it's not been easy. It's been challenging. And I'll share more with that as this thread begins to develop with you. But I'm here to tell you that it is the best thing I've ever done for myself. And the other thing is, I'm not ashamed of my drinking. I cringe at some of the crap I did and some of the people I hurt. Yeah, certainly I did that. Would I do that again? Oh, hell no, I wouldn't do that again. But be that as it may, I make amends where I can, when I can, and just move on from it. So it kind of gives you a little bit of the flavor. I'll integrate some of my flying stories with that. Did I ever fly drunk? That's an interesting question. I never had a drink within that 12 hours of flying. But you can't drink like I did day after day after day up to that 12 hours and not have a residual alcohol level in you, both physically and mentally, to where you can't say, well, I was totally sober on that flight. No, it doesn't work that way. After I sobered up, I noticed a remarkable difference in the way I thought about things and the way I looked at things, and also my abilities to fly the jet. And I'll share some of the observations I had about that also. So that being said, I think I've talked enough on the subject to get you started. You can see an idea, you get an idea of where this or how this is going to go about. And I think that's about it. So with that, this is Bobo, Bass Gear Stop.